The rich used to own land. Then they owned factories. Now, they own you. They own your baby photos, your lust, your 2 a.m. search history, and that one text you never sent, but was way too honest. They know when you're sad, when you're horny, when you're about to break up, and even when you've had McDonald's 3 days in a row. And yes, they're judging you. Here's the thing, you've already felt it. Ever talked about wanting a vacation to Greece, and suddenly every ad is for Greek islands? Or your phone magically remembers your exact Starbucks order from 2 months ago. It's like dating someone clingy. But instead of showing up at your door, they just rearrange your Instagram feed so you think you came up with the idea of buying that $100 useless product. This isn't just marketing. This is the blueprint for a new class system. And trust me, you probably don't like which side you're on. In 2019, Harvard professor Shoshana Zuboff wrote, "The Age of Surveillance Capitalism." She basically called it, "Data is the new oil," but worse. Because at least oil companies can't predict when you're about to text your ex. She says we're in a new economy, one where your personal data is mined, processed, and sold, just like any other resource. And the ones who own that pipeline, they're the new kings. Picture a pyramid. At the top, the data lords, big tech giants, government intelligence agencies, the ones who decide how reality looks to you. Middle layer, the data merchants, the ad brokers, app developers, shady marketing companies that sound like fake corporations from a James Bond movie. Bottom layer, the data poor. That's you, and me, and literally everyone who's ever clicked "I agree" without reading the terms. So, everyone. And here's the kicker. That includes your favorite Instagram model, the football star, even the billionaire influencer with the mega yacht. Sure, they might be making millions because of the data lords, but the data lords are making billions off them. They're not in charge. They're just better paid peasants. And let's be honest, even if we did read the terms, they could say, "We're gonna steal your fridge and lick your toothbrush," and we'd still click yes because we just want to use the Wi-Fi. In the old days, your social class was about money and property. Now, it's about information. Who controls it? Who sells it? Who manipulates it? Owning land meant you could grow food. Owning data means you can grow influence, elections, stock markets, even culture itself. They don't just sell you sneakers, they sell you beliefs, and half the time, you don't even know you bought them. First, prediction. Your clicks, your pauses, your scrolling speed, all of it's logged. Second, manipulation. They learn what pushes your buttons, which images make you angry, which headlines make you click, which celebrity gossip makes you forget your rent's due. Third, control. Feed you enough curated reality, and your decisions aren't really yours anymore. You think they are, but they're basically preloaded by an algorithm. It's like when Netflix asks, "Are you still watching?" But the real question is, are you still thinking for yourself? George Orwell imagined the future with telescreens watching your every move. Turns out, we didn't even need telescreens. We just bought our own surveillance devices, called them smart gadgets, and lined up outside Apple stores for the privilege. Big Brother didn't have to come to us. We ordered him on Amazon Prime with free 2-day shipping. Here's where it gets dark. Zuboff calls it behavioral surplus. The extra data collected beyond what's needed to run a service. That surplus is analyzed to predict your behavior. And those predictions? They're sold. Not just to advertisers, but to whoever's willing to pay. Governments, hedge funds, political campaigns. If money buys influence, data buys certainty. And in the wrong hands, certainty is the scariest weapon there is. They have a digital clone of you. Your clone knows you better than your friends, better than your mom, better than you. It knows you'll order pizza on Thursday because your calendar says you have a deadline Friday, and you always stress eat cheese. It knows you're about to swipe right because your heart rate went up after scrolling past someone with a dog in their photo. Basically, your data clone is you, but without the dignity. Think about history. Feudal lords owned land. You worked the land. They owned your labor. Industrialists owned factories. You worked the machines. They owned your time. Now, the data lords own the infrastructure of the internet. You work the feeds. They own your reality. Back then, at least you knew who your boss was. Now your boss is an invisible AI who occasionally sends you targeted ads for hemorrhoid cream. Can you opt out? Not really. You can delete Facebook, throw away your phone, or live in the woods. But try renting an apartment, getting a job, or even booking a bus ticket without leaving a digital trace. You'd basically become a suspicious hermit on a watch list. And let's be honest, you probably still wouldn't escape the spam calls. This is the part you don't want to think about. You're not just a victim. Sometimes you're the collaborator. You feed the system every time you like, share, comment, swipe, tag. Every photo you upload, another brick in the mansion of the data lords. Every search you make, another data point in the profile that decides what you see next. You're either the miner or the mine. So what do? Zuboff says, laws, data ownership rights, total transparency from corporations, public access to certain critical data sets so that power isn't concentrated in a few hands. Orwell would say, awareness. Understand the game before you play it. Be critical of what you consume. Teach your kids that if something online is free, they are the product. I'm not saying delete all your apps and live off the grid. I'm saying at least stop telling your smart fridge your secrets. You think it's just tracking milk expiry dates. It's probably selling your snack habits to Doritos. Look, this new class system is invisible, but it's everywhere. The question isn't if you're in it. The question is, do you know which side you're on? Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you know how it works, you might finally stop feeding the beast for free. The data lords don't need your land, your labor, or your time. They already own your future.